I chose UCLA, and specifically to be a UC student in the spring of 2020 amidst a global pandemic, amidst an uncertain presidential election. I did so by turning down offers to other private universities. The reason why I chose to still come and be a UC student, and specifically here at UCLA, is because I was promised things that I wasn't promised at a private university. Here at UCLA, here at UC, I was promised that I'd be placed at the forefront of being able to take the knowledge that I was learning in class and being able to actually apply it. I was told that being at the center of a university that is driven by community-driven action, by community-driven change, that I would be the one to be able to have the opportunity to lead that and engage in that capacity to the fullest extent that I could, like any other one of my peers. I was essentially promised that here, for the 4 years that I'd spent here, my status would not matter. That wasn't the case. As soon as I got here, the veil fell apart, the blindfold kind of fell off of my eyes, and it was clear that UC does not have the resources to support undocumented students as much as they said they would. It was so surprising because here was the UC, the university who had sued the Trump administration for the rescission of DACA, now also being the same ones to cause harm to their undocumented students on their campus and make them feel unsafe, make them go hungry, make them go homeless. In the winter quarter of my second year, COVID was so ravaging El Salvador, which is where my family and I are originally from. And 3 of my relatives passed away in El Salvador because of COVID. And I remember I came back home that weekend, and all of my family who lives here in the United States was gathered around the dinner table talking about how the hell they were going to pay to bury our relatives in El Salvador and give them the burial that they deserved. And everyone talked about where they might go get a cheap loan from, who they might ask to borrow money from. And there I was sitting at the dinner table, just playing with my food, because I was so distraught, because we had just gotten our financial aid refund. And there was $2,500 sitting in my bank account that I was supposed to use to pay my housing, because of the dorms, to pay my meal plan, to keep myself going. But my relatives needed to be buried, and my family had no way to pay for it. So you know what I did? In that same moment, I zelled it to my mom, and I would do the same thing every single day. The only issue is that unlike everybody else and all of my other peers, they had another source of income where to pull from. You know, I'm not saying that other students don't have it hard in their life, don't have to work multiple jobs, but they can work multiple jobs is the point. They can work is the point. They can find another way to sustain themselves. I live every single one of my quarters off of financial aid. In fact, us students were just joking yesterday, because that's the only way we can deal with things, about how we're starting to reach that point in the academic quarter where we have to start skimping on buying food this week, because our financial aid is starting to run low. Those are not considerations that other students at the university have, to no fault of their own. But they are considerations that you need to be aware of to be able to build solidarity and understand that it is your responsibility, especially if you're in a privileged position, to advocate and help uplift the voices of undocumented students who need the support. Because I shouldn't have had to get blocked out of my dorm and be homeless for a quarter, have to go home and figure out how I could do my classes remotely completely by begging my professors for extensions, begging them to waive my attendance requirement. I didn't have anything to eat on campus, and there was no resource on campus to support me. And so it's super, super important that people get involved. It's super, super important that people support their undocumented students, your peers. We literally sit in class next to you all. Maybe you just came back from eating lunch. Maybe you just came back from working your job, and you don't know that the student next to you is thinking about where they're going to get their next meal from, how they're going to feed their family. At 18, I was worrying about how I was going to feed everybody in my family. At 18, most people are worrying about what frat party they're going to go to. You know, and that's just the fact of the matter. The fact is, as what we've told UC, is that we're getting a second-rate education. We're being treated like second-class students. We're promised the world, and then we don't get the privilege to be students. We don't get the privilege to be UC students. What's unique about Opportunity for All is that you don't have to wait on Congress. You don't have to wait on the president. It's already on the books. And that's what we've been telling them. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to take any risk. The risk has already been taken. We took it when we came to them and we put the solution on their table. The same way that undocumented students were the ones who led and created DACA, not Obama, not his administration, not Janet Napolitano. It's the same way that we've come to them again with the solution. Our community has been battered for the last few years, and UC has a chance now to give our community a glimmer of hope. We did all the hard work of finding the legal theory, of building the implementation plan. All they have to do now is accept it. And that's what we're here to do today, and that's what we're going to do next week as we rally and as we march and as we bring public comment. And I look forward to joining you all out there as well.